it going, everyone? I'm Shane. This is Alldaytuner.
Yo!
We're here at his house so we can do the brakes on my RS5. We actually have quite an odd setup. So out of, I don't know, lack of options and I guess laziness, I'm going with two different brands. So we got the OE SHWs on the front of the RS5, and on the back we're going with Girodisks. They both have a little bit of a different setup. From the factory, the SHWs are drilled, and the Girodisks by default are slotted. So I'll have drilled in the front, slotted in the back. So we have
Still two-piece
floating,
which is good. They're both great brands, right? So yeah. SHW in the front, can't go wrong with those. And the Girodisk, got those on my Evo. We're about to have them on your car now, so it's good. These brakes are expensive, right? Yeah. This is not something where you're just, hey, I'm in and out of AutoZone. Brake pads and rotors and all the things that you need for all four corners for like $500. No, we're talking like $500 per rotor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it adds up. That's what we're saying, but the quality is there.
The quality's there. The baseline is really high quality. We'll get it started, and yeah, you guys get to see regular maintenance work on an exotic. Get on out of there, Calico.
Oh, she ready? Don't lose this bad, Larry. You need it.
See if she'll let go.
Cool.
There.
Something. Penetration action?
Also, a heads up, everyone. John works on my car most of the time. He knows that I kind of lost my love for working on things while I was in the Marine Corps. But he has a wealth of knowledge, so I always defer to him. Every so often, I'll do some shit myself, like I did the intake myself.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And he just kind of guided me on adding my race chip. And also give some business. I'm trying to look out for the homies. There it is.
See?
Look at that boy.
Look at the penetration we got on that.
Yeah,
this thing is a fucking beast.
All right, so we got the fronts SHWs. As you can see, it's a huge, huge brake.
That's no moon.
Lots of stopping power.
All of the stopping power.
Just a massive. So we have our Brembo pads here. So Brembo Akebono pads, and these are Akebono pads. Yeah. Now here's the new ones, Brembos. Here's the old ones. Mo better.
So best.
Put them up against each other. Like this guy. They're matching up. These little clips that go inside of right here, you can see it's so dirty. Go inside here. I'm gonna pop these old ones out, put these new ones in once we actually clean all of this. What we didn't get with the Brembo brake pad kit was the noise reduction / vibration reducing little clips to go over the top. Now these are good condition. I didn't mess them up when I took them off of the brake caliper, and you should kind of try to preserve anything that you take off in case you don't have like all of the extra stuff that goes along with it, like the shims, any of these little clips and vibration or noise reduction. You just may not get those with the brake pad kit, right? It might be just straight up brake pads and you have to reuse, you know, these sort of clips. So take them out carefully. If they're reusable, they don't look all mangled up from you taking them out, then clean them off and then lubricate them if needed, and then pop them back in. I'm actually surprised that Brembo did not include these with the brake pad kit.
This case is empty.
All right, so we got the caliper cleaned. We have the Brembo pads in.
Yep. Installed here. Boom, freedom.
Yeah, and now we're supposed to put the big ass deep dish.
Grilled, super duper, big bad Larry.
It's fucking fat. Yeah,
No.
it's like a steering wheel.
Who's it?
Peep the technique right there.
Peep that. There's a
Yeah.
little
Shin.
shin action. Just showing it, you can do it in your driveway or your garage. You don't need a lift, you don't need a bunch of fancy tools. Not a terribly hard job, just take your time with it. Bring it to a shop and they get the job done in 2.5 hours, and then they charge you just in labor $300 or $400 plus the parts and all that you already threw into this. Next thing you know, you're at a $2,000 brake job.
Or $5,000 from what we got that went through Audi.
So you might be noticing this looks directional, right? And we're working on the front right of the vehicle. To me, it looks directional as well, but how SHW does it, and it'll work like this because these are just drilled, right? If this was slotted, it'd be a little bit different, but it's the same part number for the front right as it is for the front left from SHW. So we're going with what OEM spec is, and this is it.
There it is. We decided to take a little lunch break real quick, and while we're at it, I like to show you, as humble as John is, this is probably like a dream garage for JDMs. He has himself an R33 Skyline and an Evo 8 with a 9 bumper.
Yeah.
Evo? Where'd you get an Evo from?
What'd you do to it, John?
Just exhaust, you know? If that gives away anything, then I don't know.
It's the proper sticker to go with the Marine Corps with the sunshades.
Titanium stuff.
Here we are. The very fabulous 4G63 Fat Turbo.
Oil cap, you gain at least 40 horsepower from that one.
Super finger. Oh. And somewhere over there is actually
Under body panels and parts and pieces under a car cover, there's something
there.
there. We'll talk about it another day.
Yeah, a marked something. But as of right now, we got to get started on the rear, and that requires us to plug something in. Skate or die. To undo the electric e-brake, nowadays you have to kind of go through that issue. And sometimes the dealerships will get you on that by not having the right plug-in toy to release it. But we just so happen to have it.
So basically the carrier frame, whatever this is, when it's a weird caliper setup like this, where it's not a monoblock, you have this exterior frame where it's like it just carries, and this is what the caliper mounts onto with the brake piston. So we have this set up right now. I have to loosen this guy here on the top, and there's another one corresponding on the bottom. You loosen those, and that's actually the way that you can remove the caliper from the little carrier that holds it onto the actual knuckle / hub over the brake caliper.
Hell yeah.
So it's got to figure out, I don't know, looks like maybe a 14, definitely not a 10 mil.
How many times have we used a 10 millimeter today?
Not a damn once.
You heard it from us first.
Yeah, not a once.
Haven't used a 10 mil on the Rs5 Sportback at all today.
13 mil right here.
Ooh, 13. Get it? All right, we're back. We got the rear disengaged, so we're able to take the rears off. But now we're swapping the backs out for these nice slotted gyro discs. And I'm digging them, honestly. And the cool thing is, like, you go out of their way to put, like, on the hat itself. It says Audi Rs5, which is kind of cool. And yeah.
So this is the electronic parking brake module. That's what we had to just disengage. And then this is the brake piston. Single brake piston for the rear versus 6 piston front monoblock.
12 pistons stopping the car in the front.
Yeah. I'll say this, with this style of caliper, the brake pads are more likely to kind of just ride and like float touching on.
Gotcha.
Like it doesn't like, because it's only on one side, the brake piston, this is the only part that's retracting. So this side that is pressing up against the brake pad on this side, in between, so you have the rotor right here in the center, you have a brake pad here that's actually being pressed by the brake piston, and you have a single brake pad that's just sitting here on the carrier, in between the carrier and then this little piece. And so sometimes when the brake piston disengages, this doesn't like slide out more on this thing. So we got in here just like this. So it doesn't always disengage. Sometimes it'll just disengage a little bit, and then you'll have one, basically this, usually the outside brake pad that is still sitting there, technically touching and scraping against the brake rotor. And like I said, it's more susceptible. You have that for both of the brake pads because of the design of the brake pad, or of the brake caliper.
All right, everybody, learning time. There's a bit of a process for the rear.
If you don't have the Volkswagen Auto Group little fancy dancy tool, or if it doesn't work, right? If the app isn't working or things like that, and you still need to get the parking brake disengaged. This works off of 2 wires, negative and positive, 12-volt system, reverse polarity. When it's engaging, it's one polarity, and then disengaging, it's the other polarity. So
yeah, gotta reverse the polarity, do a full disengage for the parking motor. When it's off, even with us using our tool, the screw stays out, and so it becomes rock hard to push the piston back in. So if we reverse the polarity like John stated, it will do the complete opposite of what it normally does. So it will screw back the screw that's in place and allow him to, or anyone to, normally do what they do to compress the piston, which is just go in there with the clamp.
all right, reverse
Polarity.
rotating.
Alrighty, we got the first gyro disc up on the rear. We're still working on the brakes. The sun's going down now, but we're still going at it. And we got the whole side done. We're working on the other side. John's getting after it. Let me give him some light, some love. But it's getting late, so we'll let you guys go. We're gonna get back at it the next day. Ah, shit, every time. And then we'll do a break-in with these. We'll have to do some, some brake tests.
Catch you on the flippity flip.